Look at the top of the drivers, and last week's transmission failure for Sebastian Vettel meant the others could gain some ground. Fernando Alonso did, as did Kimi Räikkönen. It's just 21-point gap at the moment, with just 7 points separating Hamilton, Webber and Rosberg. Noticeable gap to Massa, and then another one to De Resta. Red Bull is still clear in the constructors, 48 clear of Mercedes, who are up into second ahead of Ferrari. Real threat to the triple world champions. Force India ahead of McLaren, who are being chased down now by Toro Rosso. It's Lewis on pole though. Here's a look at how he did it in the qualifying report with Ted.
Now, 60 laps ahead of us for the German Grand Prix. 5 lights ahead of the drivers. It's lights out, and away we go, and Hamilton and Vettel are going to be going side by side here as Hamilton goes down to the right to try and squeeze Vettel out, but Mark Webber, what a brilliant start, coming round the outside. Sebastian Vettel's got the inside line. The Lotus there might take a position from Lewis Hamilton as well, and it is Red Bull 1 and 2, Vettel and Webber going through the second corner. Lewis Hamilton in third, with Kimi Räikkönen right on his rear wing, he locks up. Grosjean to his right-hand side locks up too, and Felipe Massa, another good start, has managed to clear Daniel Ricciardo within 4 corners.
So great driving then, good clean driving, but lots of changes down into turns 1, 2 and 3 as they begin to string out. But wow, that's really played into Red Bull's hands, hasn't it?
Really good start from Sergio Perez as well, up to 10th and ahead of Nico Rosberg, who's dropped down a place, beaten off the line by Nico Hülkenberg. As through the hairpin at turn 7 we go now. Still, drivers locking up brakes. Who's that? Jean-Eric Vergne on the inside of the fast starting Guido van der Garde. And Garde just taking the outside line, might have better traction out of it, manages to keep ahead.
Both Mercedes with poor starts, then Rosberg drops down to 12th.
And who's that just going off? Look like Valtteri Bottas down there. No, it's the Sauber of Esteban Gutierrez with Pastor Maldonado right behind him. As we see the leaders now coming through. Vettel from Webber, Hamilton from Räikkönen as they make their way the long way up the hill towards the final chicane. This will be DRS territory in a couple of laps' time. 1 more corner to go to complete the first lap of this race. And it's excellent news if you're a German fan of the German Grand Prix, because here comes Sebastian Vettel now to complete the first lap, 7/10 of a second ahead of his teammate Mark Webber. Then Hamilton, Räikkönen, Grosjean and Massa, Ricciardo and Alonso, Button and Perez completing the top 10. And there's Sergio Perez getting a decent tow behind his teammate Jenson Button, going down the inside into turn 1. It's Perez and Button once again. Button gets squeezed to the outside as Perez moves himself up in the 10th spot.
Good clean move there from Perez. I mean, he had to force Jenson off the track down there, and that extra bit of tarmac. It is just about allowed under the regulations.
Van der Garde down the straight as we watch the replay of the start. Hamilton, before he could really react and squeeze Vettel out, well, the Red Bull was too far up alongside him.
Yeah, he got a good initial getaway, Lewis did, but then as he had to move over, and sometimes just turning the wheel like that can break traction at the rear, and it cost him. He had to travel a little bit more distance as well across there, but he hasn't got the grip and confidence of the Red Bulls right now. And he's on his back foot, and away they go.
Just maybe a bit too much wheel spin once he got into second, third gear. Let's have a look on board with Hamilton.
Bit of wheel spin in second gear, you're absolutely right. The Red Bull with the better starts, much better starts. And Mark Webber with the best of all of the 3 of them.
Yeah, took the outside route, the long way round, and it worked for him.
We've got Räikkönen right behind us on board there.
We can watch sideways from the front wing of Mark Webber. You can see Sebastian Vettel, well, he's clear of Lewis Hamilton.
You're right. What was critical there is Vettel just got enough alongside so that Lewis ran out of options, especially with Mark Webber on the outside. He got a real pincer movement going on there with the Red Bulls.
Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso riding in about 8th place there. Daniel Ricciardo just after losing out to Massa in turn 1, making sure he wasn't going to lose out to both Ferraris by the end of turn 3. It's such an easy corner, and it's Felipe Massa, after such great work in the first few laps, all being undone now.
And the anti-stall has not cut in for him.
He's shaking his head there, Martin. He knows it's game over. Oh dear. Rob Smedley, day done. Felipe Massa, day done at a very tricky first corner. Felipe Massa, the first retiree.
Will need a safety car. They could do it under double waves, which means marshals on track, slow down, be prepared to stop.
This was riding on board with Fernando Alonso.
Well, that was really odd because he
just snapped
spun left. He was sliding right and spun left.
Well, go back to that in a moment. Vettel and Webber crossing the line now. Double waved yellows down into turn 1, and Vettel's actually, even without this, see the car being taken away by the crane. Vettel's now taken another couple of tenths.
And what's that on the left front now? He just picked up some rubbish, hasn't it?
Yeah, just a bit of pickup coming in.
They're going to release him into the path of...
Vern had to jam his brakes on there in a big way. Unsafe.
Oh yeah, that's a drive-through, isn't it?
Well, he had to jam the brakes on Vern there.
Cost Vern some time, didn't it? Well, let's see what the stewards say.
I'm much quicker than Kimi.
Now there's an interesting call for Lotus to make. Grosjean wants to be released and chase after Lewis Hamilton, but at the moment he's stuck behind his teammates in 5th place. And Lewis Hamilton is in, so they are trying the undercut at Mercedes. Get Lewis Hamilton in and off the soft tyres, which remember did 3 laps in qualifying, and the first 6 laps of this race onto the medium compound now to try and close the gap, maybe force Red Bull's hand a little bit, go aggressive.
What it's all about now is where does he feed into the traffic?
Behind his teammate Nico Rosberg, and ahead there of the Williams of Pastor Maldonado.
That was critical. So he's got a bit of clear air, and so he can use that tyre. Now, will Red Bull react to that now? Because the traffic's worked out nicely for Lewis.
Okay, Lewis, big push now, big push.
Sounds like he's having a baby. Webber back in the DRS zone. Oh, he's gone wide.
Just pushing a little bit too hard.
Box, box, box. Torque map 1 and box. Torque 1 and box.
And Red Bull reacting straight away.
Yeah.
And Hamilton just through the final chicane, now into the final corner as Sebastian Vettel comes out. 100 kilometers an hour down the pit lane. His pit stop standing was 4 tenths faster than Lewis Hamilton's. That will certainly help him. Here comes the Mercedes into view. That's the Mercedes, should be, of Nico Rosberg. It is the Mercedes of Nico Rosberg. So Vettel and Red Bull reacting and keeping Sebastian ahead of Lewis.
What is interesting...
Box mark, box. Torque 1 and box.
So Mark Webber now stops into the pits. You can ride on board with both
Long
Mercedes
stop.
or both Red Bulls. It is a long stop, and there's a bit of wheel spin as he gets away, and he's been waved. There's a wheel gone, and a wheel rolling down, and he's hit the cameraman on the back. I hope he's okay, I really do, but it sped through the Mercedes and the McLaren pit areas.
Okay, switch off the engine, please. Switch off the engine.
So this was Mark Webber's pit stop.
They were nowhere near ready, were they?
No. You saw the mechanics having to get out of the way. Mark Webber out of this Grand Prix. Ted, down to you.
Mark Webber being wheeled back, but that's not the important thing. It's how this cameraman is getting some great medical help from the pit lane doctors. They were straight onto the scene. He's also receiving help from the Mercedes mechanics, so everyone clubbing together. Now Dr. Ceccarelli is kind of the paddock go-to doctor, is just pacing down the pit lane. I can see him just to give the cameraman any help he needs. He is sitting up. He looks essentially okay, but I'll get an update for you as soon as I can.
So Webber will go back into the race, I believe, when they put some tyres on. Thanks for that, Ted. Grosjean stayed out and is absolutely flying. That's interesting. So he's still going very well indeed on those soft compound tyres, and that's just spun a double six up for us, hasn't it?
Well, he was right, wasn't he? I'm faster than Kimi. He wanted the team to let him pass Kimi. Räikkönen comes in for his pit stop. Now Grosjean released, lapping in a 1:37.2 as Kimi Räikkönen and Lewis Hamilton going at it through turn 4, down in 7th and 8th place at the moment. Hamilton in 7th, Räikkönen down in 8th, as Mark Webber does come back out into this race behind Max Chilton in the Marussia. So down now in 21st place.
The teams can't come out until their car's imminently about to pit, so they don't end up with a lot of teams and mechanics out there, but you do increasingly see them out there quite a lot, and that incident will be investigated as an unsafe release after the race.
And look, here goes Sebastian Vettel on Jensen Button. Round the outside he goes and just closes the door on Button. whilst the Brit tries to find his way back on the fresher set of tyres. Sebastian Vettel up into third place.
So Nico, we really need to push hard now. Grosjean is about to pit and he'll come out in front of you if you don't close the gap to Hulkenberg.
Nico is not in the same race.
Nico, you are on a different strategy to Lewis. Don't hold him up.
We are still on plan A target lap.
Jenson Button running in fourth place at the moment. Hamilton's going to have DRS.
Nico's thinking Malaysia. I remember. So medium compound go on for Romain Grosjean.
So this is going to be interesting. Where's Grosjean going to come out? Behind Sebastian Vettel. Jenson Button is the next man down the road who hasn't made his stop yet. Grosjean comes out third on the racetrack, but effectively second on the racetrack, given that Button hasn't made his stop.
Yeah, and look, then Lewis through then. So DRS assisted, and I think teammate assisted finally.
So let's see now with DRS what Kimi Räikkönen can do. Probably worth an extra 10 kilometres an hour through that little kink and on the way to the final chicane. Räikkönen's going to have a little go here, tries to go around the outside and gets the job done before he breaks into the chicane. Has to go a little bit wider than he would have wanted. Out in front, the gap 4.3 seconds between Räikkönen's teammate Romain Grosjean and the man leading Sebastian Vettel. Grosjean though is finding pace as we
has just
watch Grosjean just past Jenson Button.
Okay, Roman, good job, excellent job, Roman. So let's get after Vettel now.
We can see a replay now of Kimi Räikkönen on the Mercedes. Got it done well.
He did. He nearly went across the escape road, realised he might just get a penalty for completing the pass off the road.
Box, 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 boost to 0.
I have no grip, man. These tyres are not holding together very well.
Well, Hamilton in all sorts of struggles, and you can see the front right there, Martin, starting to grain a bit already. DRS open for Kimi Räikkönen. He's had one Mercedes into this chicane. Make that two Mercedes into this chicane. Kimi Räikkönen moves himself up into fourth place. It looked oh so easy. Hamilton complaining of a lack of grip. As we watch Räikkönen on Hamilton from the top of the hill. Not able to defend at all, Lewis Hamilton there.
You get such an acute angle when you get it, and it's always dirty up the inside there. And there's little point in losing his front wing against the side of Räikkönen's car.
Just in the front right there, just front left there, I should say, starting to see a few signs of wearing on the rears as well. Look at that. That's a 12-lap-old tyre.
These tyres are on different tyres to me, man.
And here goes Fernando Alonso again, has to go left down into the first turn. We ride on board with it now, makes the turn in. Hamilton has that covered, but much better traction from the Ferrari out of that corner. Hamilton though taking a great line through turn 2, and he's keeping Alonso at bay. This is a brilliant scrap.
He's making that Mercedes as wide as he can. Looks like the new S-Class, the way he's driving it around, then he's having to at the moment.
Is Nico having the same problem?
A firm Lewis, Nico suffering with the same issues.
And here he goes, switching out to the left-hand side. Hamilton's got that inside line covered again. And look at the traction on the Ferrari this time. Not as good as the previous lap, a bit more comfortable. So Alonso tries to go around the outside. Hamilton gives him a car's width.
They're holding each other up, unfortunately. Holding each other up. That's the problem.
So should Lewis Hamilton let Alonso go? He might not have that option, no?
No, he's got to keep him behind, because then when he gets a fresh set of boots, he keeps himself in play with Alonso for
Frenchman.
I'm pushing, man, I'm pushing.
I think we can all see that, Lewis, to be fair. And Alonso's pushing as hard as he can behind you as well. A brilliant scrap between the two former McLaren teammates who do have, it has to be said, a very healthy racing respect for each other, even if they're not the best of friends. Watching on from the helicopter now.
Apparently Alonso's saying that he's running out of rear grip, and on the radio has been told you've got to do another 10 laps on them yet, and Lewis pits.
So I think Mercedes switching their strategy. Finally, Lewis Hamilton is allowed to pit. Look how little grip he had coming into the pit lane. Ted.
We're on plan B, Kimi. We're on plan B.
And Williams making their pit stop as well. Both Maldonado and Bottas in for their first stop. Back to you again, Ted.
No, absolutely, David. No, that's what I was saying. So it is still 3-stop. I just thought he might go to the soft tyre. Obviously, Mercedes think it's just a variation thing.
Oh, Ted, we've got an engine blowout here. It's the Marussia of Jules Bianchi. And there's a fire as well. And Jules will need to get out of there fairly swiftly. Parks the car up and does make his exit. The fire is out before the marshal can get near to the Marussia. But a fairly substantial blowout. Jules Bianchi becomes the second retiree from this German Grand Prix. Will walk away. There's the start of it, Martin. A lot of smoke.
It's now rolling down the track by itself.
Oh no! Now double yellows are out there and the drivers need warning as the car with nobody in it is just freewheeling down the road. There's your race leader Sebastian Vettel and a second place man Romain Grosjean coming through. And there's the marshal. The safety car is now out as actually the advertising hoarding does everyone a favour and slows that Marussia down.
The irony of that is it's in a safer place than it was when it decided to rejoin the race without its driver.
Oh dear, I don't think we need the green flag there as that car comes careering down. That's definitely the wrong one. So now, safety car situation. Who's this going to favour, I wonder? Vettel makes an early call to come in for a fresh set of medium compound tyres. Romain Grosjean and Lotus cover him. Vettel away. Grosjean's pit stop, and they're out once more. Kimi Räikkönen also coming in for his pit stop from third.
Yeah, he was over 10 seconds behind, so they can stack the Lotus.
And that's Fernando Alonso as well, coming in for his pit stop with the safety car deployed. And what happened here? Rosberg on his way into the pits. Bit keen, wasn't he?
Yeah. Pretty feisty, wasn't it?
This was Nico Rosberg's second pit stop and a little delay on it as well.
I think they're either adjusting the brake ducts they can adjust, or a bit of front wing. Let's have a different car.
Valtteri Bottas had a problem on his front right, which needed another wheel gun. Trying to keep calm as a mechanic there, and it's very, very difficult in a very pressurised situation. Jean-Eric Verne, another retirement for him, as he alluded there, second time in a week. In the last 6 races, he's either scored points or he's retired from the race. It's a famine or feast, quite literally for him.
Worked well for Jenson Button. He had just pitted, so didn't get. There comes Mark Webber through the back. He had just pitted, so didn't get delayed by having to safety car pace back to the pits and not with the leaders too much, but it's worked well for JB. It's a fresh set of tyres.
He's in a handy position as well. Lewis Hamilton behind Hülkenberg. If Hamilton's having struggles once again on his tyres, that's going to help Jenson Button maybe consolidate that 5th place.
Absolutely. Well, Mark's charging down the inside. I believe he's allowed to do that. He's been told to pass the safety car, so at some point, and you want to pass the other cars as quickly as you can.
That's what he's doing. And I take it the other cars are made aware of this and are told by the team, look, careful, Mark's coming through.
Yeah.
Okay, Romain, so we are back on the plan A, but we are not sure about the tyres.
Okay, Sebastian, you're doing a good job on fuel. Keep doing that. But we need a lap easy on the brakes. You take it a bit easy on the brakes.
Okay, Mark, so at the restart, want to pick off these cars quickly.
Get going, my friend.
You can pass before the last corner as well.
Grosjean just a little lock up there.
You can pass from now.
That's the safety car line, and that's where we can start racing once again. Round the final corner, Kimi Räikkönen desperately trying to get a good exit, put some pressure on his teammate Romain Grosjean as they make their way down into the first corner. Vettel's got away and has got away well. Räikkönen looks a little bit too far behind Grosjean for his liking. Who's making a move? Perez, covered by Maldonado, down in 9th place. That's Adrian Sutil right on Perez's tail, going through turn 1. Behind that, Daniel Ricciardo getting interested as well in the Toro Rosso, and Mark Webber has already passed Max Chilton and Charles Pic going into turn 1. If we can see what happened with Mark Webber. Max Chilton ahead of him, and the one Marussia that's remaining on the road. Get past him, and then Charles Pic there for the taking for Mark Webber in the Red Bull.
This is Mark Webber, and trying to get past a very weavy Esteban Gutierrez, and he's going to end up on the dirt with that one.
Do you think 12 more laps on that set would be possible? 12 more laps on that set would be possible?
No, I doubt it. No.
And then there's a better chance for him in other parts. Perez and Maldonado here. Perez getting into 8th place, ahead of Pastor Maldonado in the Williams. And there's Adrian Sutil right behind them, the last man of the points, kicking up a lot of dirt that Daniel Ricciardo has to move out of the way of, just so he can see where he's going. Yes. Who'd have thought the Red Bull being held up by a Sauber this afternoon, with all due respect to Sauber and Esteban Gutierrez.
Oh, it's an outside of turn 2, Jobby. Nice.
Yes, there's Mark Webber losing time behind Gutierrez. He's lost about 6 seconds with him. We're watching Hülkenberg just ahead of Lewis Hamilton here. And once again is being held up, and this time maybe he can go around the outside. He's trying to make the move, Hamilton there, but the door just firmly shut in his face.
Slammed. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Paul, we have no concern over rear tyre life. No concern over rear tyre life, okay?
So he can go to the end of the race, possibly, in that Force India. He's used up all his KERS here. Hamilton's got DRS and a little bit of KERS as well to try and gain on him.
So the pole sitter.
Who was lightning yesterday.
Oh, the pits.
I think the pit stop is not far away.
I think it's now.
Copy that, Nico, copy.
It is now. Hamilton released then.
Another interesting team radio from Vettel's engineer Rocky to him, saying, "Good lad, Sebastian, keep fighting, keep fighting." So is he fighting some kind of problem in that Red Bull? We'll seemingly have to wait and see on that one. But all the other radio messages from the drivers, it's just some tyre wear that they didn't expect. Some of them saying it's as bad as it was at the Spanish Grand Prix. So just an indication of what they're dealing with out there.
It's interesting to see Grosjean there, coming out of turn 1 with the back end hanging out a little bit, as if he's just losing some rear grip.
All right, Grosjean lost the DRS. Come on. He's too far back now. Come on. Keep that up.
Grosjean could just be getting back in the DRS again. Nip and tuck. He needed a 10. He's pitted.
So they've decided, Romain Grosjean, as you spotted there, Martin, losing a bit of rear end grip. Time to bring him in. So far, Grosjean has run his first stint, the soft tyre, the second 2 stints, the medium compound tyre. What goes on? Another set of medium compound tyres for Romain Grosjean as Sebastian Vettel pits from this race. Räikkönen comes around the final corner now and will lead the German Grand Prix as Vettel now makes his 3rd pit stop of the race. Red Bull reacting to Grosjean, not Kimi.
But Grosjean then has done a mighty middle sector. It's going to be very close, David. It's going to be very close indeed.
Grosjean now out of the final corner he goes. Sebastian Vettel limited at 100 kilometers an hour as Grosjean passes our commentary box, and you can see him there honing in on Sebastian Vettel, and they were right to cover what the Frenchman and what Lotus were doing. Vettel comes out just ahead of Grosjean. Another lap, it might have been a different story.
You should try to cover Räikkönen, mate.
Yeah, so still, Red Bull think that Räikkönen could be the danger. On this lap, 31.4 and a 39.6 for his 2 sectors.
Grosjean clearly in DRS as well, driving a beautiful race. That's where Vettel's straight line speed deficit could be an issue despite DRS, and he's going to have to get pretty punchy on the brakes to clear Lewis ASAP.
Yeah, he's not managed to do it into that hairpin. Ted, down to you.
Yeah, and this is going to help Kimi Räikkönen, of course. If we're assuming he has to make another stop or wants to make another stop, if he wanted to go to the end, that would be about 36 laps on one set of tyres, wouldn't it? But we haven't seen them do anything more than 30, so it'd be a bit of a trip into the unknown for Lotus, but I suppose they could do it if the tyres hold up.
Here goes Sebastian Vettel, Ted, sorry, on Lewis Hamilton into turn 1. Vettel thought he got that move done. Hamilton moves across to cover him, now takes the inside line through turn 2. Vettel will have better traction coming out of it. This time should get the job done, but Hamilton is not going to give this up, not for one moment, finally has to. Sebastian Vettel has managed to clear the Mercedes. Grosjean will have DRS and KERS in which to attack. Hamilton will use his KERS just to try and defend. Look how he's draining the KERS there. Grosjean on the run up to the chicane. He's got the right hand sideline this time, but gets the move done. Like his teammate Kimi Räikkönen did earlier on Lewis Hamilton, well before the chicane itself, and Hamilton has to now come into the pits for another set of tyres. His third pit stop in this race.
This could get him ahead of Jensen, though.
What's been happening now to the Sauber of Nico Hülkenberg? Nico Rosberg ahead of him.
No longer.
We look further down the field. Lewis Hamilton, after his pit stop, gets past his teammate Nico Rosberg on a fresher set of tyres, and no need for team orders or getting held up behind his teammate on that occasion. The extra grip did all the work for him.
Oh, look, that's critical, David.
Jensen Button.
Yeah, well, Button gets out of the way, which releases Vettel and into a lot of clear air, and Grosjean. So that Kimi needed them to get a little bit held up there for a lap or two.
Well, let's look at it this way. Räikkönen started, of course, on the soft compound tyre. He's run both compounds of tyre. If the tyres aren't bad, can he go to the end here? Ted, that they've been talking to Räikkönen again.
Yeah, they have been talking to Räikkönen again. The radio not working, and they're asking him, can we go to the end on these tyres? And Kimi has shouted back, I told you already! So it sounds like if they are trying it, they're either going to try and go to the end or try and pit and put on the soft tyres and then do a late charge to the end. But, well, I think they've got a decent chance because it is an 8-second gap. And even if the tyres do start to get to the clap... Oh, no! No, the Lotus guys come in to the pits. It is the soft tyres, and it's Kimi Räikkönen's tyres. Räikkönen about to make a stop.
Right, OK then. So Kimi's answer was, no, we can't go to the end. So Fernando Alonso pits at exactly the same time as Kimi Räikkönen as well. Sebastian Vettel moves back into the lead of this German Grand Prix. Grosjean follows on behind in second place. Räikkönen now third, Alonso fourth. The man coming round the final corner is Sergio Perez in fifth place. Jensen Button in sixth, just set a new fastest lap of the race as Alonso goes very, very wide there through turn 1 and loses a little bit of time. And now, game on. Soft compound tyres are on, and look, game on here. Hamilton, Di Resta, Maldonado, the three of them going into turn 1. Hamilton on the inside of Di Resta moves himself up once again into 8th place. And now he's got the Williams that has only stopped once in this race. Should be a little bit easier to pass. He's trying around the outside to turn 2 and turn 3, not happening there. Räikkönen, a 39.5 for the middle sector, just on a par with Vettel on this lap. Ted, down to you.
Yeah, so if Kimi Räikkönen wants to win this race, he's going to have to overtake both Sebastian Vettel and his teammate. Grosjean has been told on the radio, Kimi's behind you, he's on a different strategy, he's on the soft tyre.
Maldonado is behind Hamilton now. He's moved himself to 7th place as the British driver, and Maldonado will make his final pit stop as he sees the Mercedes and then the Force India going round the final turn.
Jensen 4/10 slower on his second lap on those tyres, but he's now just a drag race with his teammate, so maybe he lost a little bit of time in behind him.
Yeah, he's won that drag race, Martin. 5th place for Jensen Button. You've got to make the most, haven't you, of the first 3 laps on these soft compound tyres. And there is that drag race. Perez moving down to the inside, where he managed to get Jensen Button earlier on in this race, and this time Jensen says, I'll have a place back if you don't mind.
Yeah, bit of payback there from earlier on in the race, as you say. But
and while all that's happening, because of the pit stops, Mark Webber is up into 9th place. This was Pastor Maldonado's pit stop. He was running in the points, and another wheel gun problem affected Valtteri Bottas earlier in the race. Same tyre, front right, same wheel guns. It's just not going on, is it?
It's not off yet, I don't think, is it?
Yeah, the gun just not engaging and locking on the nut. Oh dear.
Okay, Kimi on the option tyre behind you is coming up very quickly. Do not hold him up.
The team order has gone out. Meanwhile, watch the Sauber of Nico Hülkenberg down in 14th place. That's his teammate Esteban Gutierrez. Lewis Hamilton, a little replay. Oh, Nico Rosberg, I should say. A little replay of his move to get himself up into 12th.
Good job, Sebastian. Be patient. The others will have to go through that as well. Next car, Van der Garde.
Rocky talking about all the lap cars. Peak moves over to the left-hand side to try and get out of the way. As Vettel gets rid of Van der Garde.
The only instruction to Grosjean is don't hold Kimi up. Grosjean can legitimately say, I'm not holding him up, but surely they've got to go on the radio if they're still thinking about the championship. Tell them to get out of the way.
Nice job. You can still catch Perez. Perez is doing mid-36s ahead of you. Perez is doing mid-36s. You can catch and pass him.
He was a second faster on the last lap, Mark Webber. Yeah. Grosjean's lost about 0.3 of a second to Vettel in the first part of this lap as we watch Rosberg and Ricciardo trading places, and there's Valtteri Bottas right in the middle of it as well.
Okay, Romain, Kimi behind is on the option tyre. Do not hold him up.
So we should see Räikkönen go past into the chicane, and we do. And that's a real shame for Romain Grosjean, because I don't think he's done an inch wrong here this afternoon, Martin. He's driven a pretty perfect race. Sadly, he's not going to pick up a second place for it.
No, he'll be on the podium, but 5 to go. They obviously think they want points for Räikkönen, and he's still got the best chance of coming at Vettel.
I mean, when everyone realised that team orders would have been given out anyway, it just couldn't be policed. Hamilton, and a move there on Perez takes him up into 6th place.
Oh, if he wins it, he's won it fair and square.
Yeah.
He's had to work for it.
Ricciardo on his 3-stop strategy, being passed there by Nico Hülkenberg.
Traffic caterers, I've got to get these guys out of the way.
Jensen Button bemoaning the luck he's having with the back markers. Top 4 with 3 laps to go were separated by less than 5 seconds. It's a tense time at the garage, whether you're at Lotus or whether you're at Red Bull.
Come on, Kimi, give us a race.
Another 2 flag. Another 2 tenths, Martin, through the middle sector as well.
Okay, Lewis, 2 laps remaining. Jensen's really fallen off this tyre.
As we now come down the final straight onto the final lap, and the gap is 1 second. Can Vettel hold on?
No DRS for Räikkönen. It must be 1.0 something or other. Didn't get DRS. Oh, and a big tail slide there.
And last lap, empty the tank, come on.
Empty the tank.
So don't worry about fuel, just keep the loud pedal firmly fixed to the floor. Has Räikkönen just lost a little bit of grip? Was that a telling slide there? Here comes Lewis Hamilton on Jensen Button for 5th place. The man who started on pole is trying to snatch 5th place off his former teammate here, but struggling on that set of tyres. Hamilton takes it. 2nd place is his. Räikkönen a 1/10 of a second faster in this first sector. Grosjean matched by Fernando Alonso in 3rd and 4th. Sebastian Vettel trying to win in front of his home fans here for the first time. Has Kimi Räikkönen on his tail, but it looks at the moment like he's done enough to take a thoroughly well-deserved win.
Does indeed. Just coming off the top of the hill then. Yes, he's got DRS this time, won't do him any good though. Vettel has got this under control.
So one more time into the chicane. Räikkönen closes up. Vettel is there. within touching distance, but he's going to run out of laps, is Kimi Räikkönen, because today it is Sebastian Vettel's day here in Germany. He's never won on home soil before. He's never won in July before. Forget that. He's won today. Sebastian Vettel wins the German Grand Prix. Kimi Räikkönen comes home. What a charge to finish in second. Romain Grosjean holds on for his podium as well. Mark Webber does finish in 7th place as Fernando Alonso parks his car down at turn 1. You would assume because he's run out of fuel to get back to the pits. Sergio Perez comes home 8th ahead of Nico Rosberg and Nico Hülkenberg for his 2nd point-scoring finish in a row. And this is what happened to Fernando Alonso. We saw him stop in turn 1. Yeah, they empty the tank. Who was that message to? Sebastian, not Fernando.